This film is not U.S. Army produced or sponsored. Welcome to Fort Bliss, located on the old Mexico-Texas border in beautiful El Paso, Texas. The foothills of the Franklin Mountains overlook this historic fort as if standing guard. Fort Bliss was once an outpost with advance companies B, E, I, and K of the 8th Infantry stationed here to protect farmers and ranchers from repeated Indian attacks. Named in honor of William Wallace Smith Bliss, a veteran of the Florida Indian Wars, the main post has grown in leaps and bounds. Fort Bliss now encompasses over 100,000 acres of desert land just north and west of downtown El Paso. Now considered one of the most important military installations of the free world, its value in the training of sophisticated missile firing specialists is unsurpassed. The post has become a modern facility in every way, from its modern shopping mall, recreational facilities, modern new banks, quaint little churches, and modern schools. As one of the major installations in the U.S., Fort Bliss continues to add to its colorful history as well as its military importance. Soldiers from Germany, for instance, train and live here. Fort Bliss is responsible for all German Air Force air defense training that takes place in the United States. When new recruits first arrive at Fort Bliss, one of the first things that they see is this building. Ironically, this is also one of the last things they see at Fort Bliss, because it is in this auditorium that they graduate from basic training. But before training can begin, each soldier must go through processing and fill week. During this time, the new recruits go for haircuts. It's amazing how 2.5 minutes can change their appearance. This is not done to harass the soldier, but is done for sanitary reasons and also makes everyone look and feel alike. The soldier is now part of a team and must start thinking and acting like a member thereof. After haircuts, it's time to be fitted for the proper clothing. It's amazing how all this stuff fits. Then the troops are taken to the clinic. There they will have shots, blood tests, and numerous other tests to make sure that they are ready to start with training. The challenge here is to conduct the training so that the learning experience is confidence-building and success-oriented. Trainers should always think war and be guided by the challenge of let no man's soul cry out, had I the proper training.
You got a problem, don't you? Now, if I look down there and find your black glove, we gonna have a definite problem. You better look at me. Wow, lo and behold, you found it, correct? You laughing at me? No, Drill Sergeant. Then why you putting the other inserts in? You got to put no, Drill Sergeant. Black glove. No, Drill Sergeant. I still can't hear you. No, Drill Sergeant. Hurry up. You better stop. Hurry up.
As each new soldier is presented with the challenge of physical training, he is reminded on every push-up that he is now a soldier. Fooling around time is over. This is serious business. But all of the day is not spent doing physical training. As Sergeant Jackson explained, some very valuable time is spent learning about the M16A1 rifle.
BRM period 1. Sergeant Jackson, could you tell me what is going on here today?
Yes, at this time we are in BR period 1, is the introduction of the M16A1 rifle. In this class they learn about how to disassemble a weapon, assemble a weapon, clean a weapon, inspect a weapon. At this time you notice a lot of weapons are broken down where that they are learning all the parts of the weapon, the major working parts of the weapon. Once they leave here, they go to period 2, where period 2 gets them into a better feeling of the weapon, where that they get to shoot the weapon in the box hole, the prone and everything, and learn that fundamental. But right now, like I say, you're in period 1, and period 1 is based on the introduction of the weapon.
Maximum effective range of this weapon. Thank you. Maximum effective range is 2,350 meters. What's the effective range? Back there. Maximum effective range is 460 meters or so. Just wait to go off. This, you know, there's this man you can bomb.
Rumor has it that this rifle is the only weapon in the Army big enough to kill a drill sergeant. Now we move on to the second week, when new recruits are taught the basics of drill and ceremony. As you can see, these guys aren't ready to perform for the general yet, but they are trying.
Bradford, Sergeant, can you tell us what's going on here this morning?
Basically what we're doing this morning is having drill and ceremony period 5, which we teach the new recruits the right shoulder arms, left shoulder arms, inspection arms, and 2 carry positions with the weapon.
Hey, like that. 1, 2, right there, please. Hey!
Some soldiers need special attention, and the drill sergeants are always there to help. On Sunday of the third week, the troops get to relax a little and have platoon and individual pictures made. Some of them will lose weight, some will gain weight, but all of them will look better when basic training is over. Marching to the mess hall is one of the highlights of the day. After a long morning of training, this place is where the recruits definitely want to be. Every moment in the chow line is spent studying their smart book of the day's activities. The chow is well prepared and nutritious, and they really do devour it. After chow, the recruits march back to the company area, and as you can see, they're really starting to look good. During the third week, the recruits get to go through bugle stick training. This padded instrument simulates a rifle with bayonet attached, and each slash, butt, or stab represents a kill or injury to the enemy. Some guys take longer to kill than others. In week 4, the recruits' home is truly on the range. The rifle range, that is. Out here they will zero their weapon in, qualify with the weapon, and go through the gas chamber. As each new soldier zeroes his weapon in, he then moves down the range to check his target. If he has successfully put 3 rounds in the prescribed area, he then can move off the range. The sergeant can tell us the exact requirements.
Fletcher? Sergeant Fletcher, can you tell me what BRM 5 is?
Yes, for BRM Period 5, the soldiers are given 3-round magazines up to the count of 18 rounds, and they're required to put 5 out of 6 rounds consecutive inside of a 4-centimeter circle to zero their weapon prior to qualification. And once they qualify, say zero their weapon, then they're ready to move on to the next period, which is BRM Period 6, which is for qualification.
Here is a typical target after 3 rounds have been put into the required area. These guys have just zeroed in and are happy to celebrate. They're now ready to qualify. As the soldiers move into position to qualify, they're given 40 rounds of ammo. They're required to put at least 23 of these rounds into targets that pop up at varying distances. 23 to 29 hits will earn a soldier a marksman's badge. 30 to 35 is considered to be sharpshooter, and 35 to 40 is an expert. Anyone hitting over 36 usually is recognized at graduation as being outstanding. In the 5th week in the desert, the soldier goes through the gas chamber. He is required to at least state his name, rank, and serial number before he is let out. This experience is vital to him. It installs proof and confidence that in case of a chemical warfare attack, the soldier's gas mask will work. After returning from the field, the next 3 weeks are spent in reinforcement training. It sure feels good to be back in civilization and modern housing with a soft, warm bed. By the way, this is how the barracks look, all cleaned up and ready for inspection. In hand-to-hand combat training, the art of self-defense is taught. Some of the basic moves include the front leg takedown, the hip throw, and on guard. Before beginning, though, it is important to warm up. In the 7th week, the new soldiers are again confronted with the obstacle course. But this time they are a little more prepared, having gone through many days of physical training by now.
When I tell you that it's time to get set, you get set. You don't sit there around. Get set. Show. Put your butt down.
Another test to pass is the Army Physical Fitness Test. Here each soldier must complete the push-up test, sit-up test, and be able to run 2 miles within a preset time. Each time and requirement limit is according to the individual's age. Also required to be able to graduate is the basic skills test, such as the application of the gas mask, high and low crawl to simulate an attack maneuver, first aid, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, the proper use of splints, how to install, fire, and recover an M18A1 Claymore mine, and the proper use of the law rocket. Also, he is required to operate a field radio. On the day before graduation, the recruits are marched over to turn in their field gear, commonly known as TA-50. It sure feels good to be rid of all that gear. After picking up their photos, the new recruits go to the auditorium to rehearse the graduation ceremony. Tomorrow is their day.